After you've clicked the button for the Android app, this message at the bottom is going to pop up. Do you want to download this? The answer is yes, so click download. It's going to download it. Takes just a short time. You're going to click open. Do you want to install this application? Because it doesn't require any special access. Install. Now remember, this is an app, so it's on the phone. You're going to open the app. Okay, this is the login and sign up page. From here, you're going to click on sign up. I'm going to do this a little bit out of order, and I'll explain why in a minute, but let's go to the top, and the first drop-down menu. It says America as a default, but pick your country. I'm going to go down and actually pick United States of America. Click that. Okay. I'm going to enter the phone number of the phone that I'm registering, which is this one. Okay, I'm not going to get the code yet. I'm not going to get the verification code. I'm going to go down and fill in the password information because there's a timer on some of the verification. So I want to get all this filled in before I come back to do the verification. So I'm going to create a login password. Pick something that you can remember, but that would be difficult for somebody to guess or hack. And then you're going to, in the next box, you're going to confirm what you just typed for the login password. Especially if you have a newer phone, you're going to find that the screens are very sensitive and it's easy to accidentally mistype and not even know it, and you'll get an error message. Try not to get frustrated. It most likely is because of that sensitive screen. Now, on the normal size phones, you're going to have the keyboard sometimes block where you need to be. On the larger phones, that doesn't happen as much, but it still can happen. What do you do to get around that, to get rid of the keyboard? Well, there's three buttons at the bottom, you may remember. The middle button usually is the home button that takes you to the home page, and there's also an arrowhead or arrow that points to the left, which is the back button, and then the third button is the tiling button. And what does that do? If you have multiple apps open, because we're going to use the tiling button frequently. If you have multiple apps open, what you do is you hit that tiling button and it tiles or lays one on top of the other of the open apps. So if you had an email account open, if you had texting open, and you may have opened it before you even started this just to make it more convenient, you're going to be able to access those and open them. As an example, here's Chrome. I can just touch that and it opens up. I can go back and hit the tiling button again, and there's WoToken, and I can open that back up. So now we're going to enter the payment password. The keyboard pops up again, but remember you can get rid of it by hitting the back button down at the bottom. So get the payment password in, and I'm going to hit the back button so I can get down to the next space. Okay, I'm going to hit the lower right, this arrow, more or less an enter, and it will pop up. That's another way to pop up to the next level. You can use that sometimes. Okay, now the invitation code. This is the code that you received from the person that invited you to the program. It's very important that you put that code in correctly so the person that provided you with the invitation can get a proper credit. So be real careful how you put it in, but it's the person that referred you. And as you were warned on the WoToken Team Destiny page, that was going to be something you needed to have prepared. So I'm going to put that in. Okay, triple check this to be sure that you've put it in properly. Okay, looks like we put it in properly. I'm going to hit the check mark in the lower right. That's going to close the keyboard as well. Now it's time to get the verification code. So since it's on a timer, that's why I held it off to the end. You've got all the other areas filled in properly. You can double or triple check them before you hit the get code. There's two steps here to this verification code. First of all, get code. And it's going to pop up and give you some numbers here. If you can't read them very well or you're not sure what they are, just touch them and another set will come up. Okay, there we go. I can read that, 3290. So I'm going to type that in. Now, as soon as I confirm this, the timer is going to start for the verification. It's going to send me a text message with a verification code that I'm going to put in the blank space. But this starts the process. I'm going to hit confirm. You can see the countdown timer starts at 59 seconds. Okay, I'm waiting for a verification code. Okay, there it is, 538324. Write that down if you want, or you could have hit the copy button that was there. Now the countdown timer is still going. I'm going to hit the next box now, or hit the arrow here at the bottom to close that, close that. So we've got everything entered. The countdown timer will continue to count down, even though I'm going to hit the back button to get rid of the keyboard. Now we're all ready to hit the sign up button. Countdown timer is still going, but that's fine. Even if it got down to 0, if we've already put in the verification code, we're fine. So I'm going to click setup. Passwords do not match, so I need to go back and redo my passwords. My verification code is in, so I should be in good shape. I'm going to start over again. Okay, we've got the referral or invitation code in. Gonna hit the back button to close that. And we've got the code, we've got what we need, sign up. Okay, registration success. Now, we're at the mnemonic words. It's important to understand what's happening here. In this case, you need to write down all these mnemonic words because they're going to be important in the future as well as now. And some of them will be plural, like bonuses, you can see here. Some of them will be singular. You have to be absolutely sure that you've got it down correctly, because you're going to have to retype these, and it's easy to make a mistake. So I'm going to write these down, and they're not simple, easy words necessarily either, so be real careful how you're spelling them. And you do need to copy them down in order. This is something that you need to tuck away once you're done, and keep this in a secure place wherever you'd keep important papers, since there's going to be a substantial amount of money in the account. Like I say, be very careful how you write them down, and more importantly, how you copy them. Now, notice it says you can use these mnemonic words to restore accounts. Once the mnemonic words are lost, your assets will not be recovered. So realize how critical these are. And they're also going to have a private key that's very, very important also. But once you've got these down and you're sure you've got them correctly, click on confirm. And now you're taken to a page where you can type in this enter search content. You're going to type in the mnemonic words in the same order that you got them. Be very careful again about the spelling. And what's going to happen is the word as you type it in, once you're sure you've got it typed in correctly, it will populate below, it will appear below the search. Now, if the keyboard is up, the keyboard could hide it, so you're going to have to hit that back button again to get rid of the keyboard to see it, and then you select it, and it will populate that bigger box up at the top. Let's start with testosterone. Notice that the keyboard came up and covered the portion underneath. Okay, there's that word. Now, it appeared, but I can't get to it. It's underneath the keyboard. So I'm going to hit the back button. There it is. I'm going to touch it, and it's going to populate at the top. I'm going to do the second word, boomerang. Okay, and again, I'm going to have to hit the back button so they can touch it, so it populates. I'm going to purposely make a mistake here, and to show you what happens when you do. Okay. I put illnesses instead of just illness. And the last word. Okay. Oh, and notice that there's several words down here to choose from. So I'm going to choose the correct one. It's going to populate. Now when I hit confirm, there's going to be an error. keywords fail. So I've made a mistake. I need to go back and check. Now, how do I go back? Do I have to start over from the beginning? No. If I each time I hit delete, that will delete one word and it will start going backwards. So I'm going to delete back to illnesses and change that to illness. Okay, there, and hit the back button, hit it down here, and it populates properly, matches what I needed. I'm going to type in that last word, back button, hit that word. Now I'm going to hit confirm, and here we go. We're to the private key section. Very, very important. If you've got one of the newer phones with the sensitive screens, be really careful about touching it. Very careful. We're gonna copy the private key, and then we're going to send it to ourselves so that we can print it and put it in a private place. I would delete it off your phone after you email, delete that email, because keeping it on here defeats the purpose of the security. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to copy the private key and send it to myself. I'm going to copy and send first in case I may make a mistake taking the picture. So I'm going to copy private key, copy success. Now I'm going to go to the bottom where the three buttons are. Remember the tiling button. I'm going to hit tiling. I'm going to, now what I can also do, since I don't have Gmail open, I can go into Google. I can go back, hit the home button, go back to the front, to the home page, click Gmail. I can start a new email. Now down in the body, in the compose email section, I press my finger down, wait for the paste command to pop up. I'm going to paste that in there. In the subject area, I'm going to put the phone number and private key to remind myself what it is so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of email. You could also do this in text messaging, but I really choose to do it email. It's going to be easier for me to print it and then put that in a safe place. Remember how important this is. We get people all the time call us to say, "Oh, I lost my private key." I mean, that's like throwing your money away. There's a chance you'll never get it back. So it's important to have the mnemonic words and the private key saved. So here I am. I've got it set up. I'm going to email to myself. So I hit the email button. Successfully emailed. Okay, good. And I'm going to now. Here we are. I need to get back to the app. So I'm going to hit the tiling button again. Here's the app. So I press on WoToken. Now I've got it copied successfully. Now I can try to take a picture. Taking pictures with cell phones varies from brand to phone to brand to phone. Many of them, there's keys on both sides. You press the power key at the same time you press the bottom of the volume key. In this particular phone, there's it's got the volume key and the power key on the same side. So I'm going to press the bottom of the volume key and the power key at the same time, and the picture should squiggle a bit when I do it. There, it did it. See, it took the picture. So it's now I've got a picture in my picture gallery as well. Again, I don't want to leave that there, but I've got a backup picture so that I can move that. Some people will move it to a thumb drive, so that they can store that drive someplace and have it for the future. So now we are done. We can go back one page. Hit the back button at the top, login successful. Here we are on the app itself on the home page. It will populate. This is an older phone, so it's pretty slow, but there's an area at the top that it will populate. And then the next step will be to add an asset. So we're going to do that as part of this setup step. Depending on which coin you're going to deposit, you're going to want to set up the wallet for that. Very easy to do. You're on the home page here, so you're going to click on Add Asset. That's kind of in the middle, and click on that. And you've got a drop-down menu. I'm going to click on. I'm going to pick BTC. Now, what it wants me to do here, please copy the selected asset name. I'm going to type in BTC. I'm going to do it lowercase first because to see if lowercase, if they look at it being the same way as uppercase. I don't think they will, but let's take a look. BTC, wrong copy, it said. So if I put in if I backspace and do it in capital letters, I'm going to, I think, have success. So we've got BTC in caps. Hit confirm. Okay, hit confirm again. You've added that asset. Now, what does that mean? That means that okay, confirm. That means that uh, it's going to be in your asset area. There's 5 buttons at the bottom. That's where your main menu is, and you've got Home, Asset, Trade, Apollo, and Mine. Mine is basically your home page with your information and things you can do. Asset is where the wallets are. Apollo is the actually application that earns you money. It's where they do arbitrage trading to earn every day, and you get paid every day. But you have to actually activate that, which will be in another video. Let's go to the Assets page, which is the second icon over on the bottom, and you're going to see BTC Wallet has been created. So that's it for the basic setup. Next video will be on creating the deposit and then also activating your Apollo account. One last note: if by chance when you've completed the setup of the app that you get a message that said that you don't have your payment password, and that can happen, and it's going to ask you to set up your payment password. When you do that, if you set it up and complete it, what you need to do is you need to log out, reboot your phone, and log back in. Otherwise, it's going to keep telling you to reset your payment password. Just a word of caution if that happens to you or a member of your team. Talk to you in the next video.